Because you always just act when defending. I think. Because you always just act when defending. I think it's like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Weird flex, but we're back again. Voice sounds a bit croaky. I'm getting used to this, people. You're going to have to forgive me. People deluded, I'm back again. First things first, I appreciate everybody who's tuned in with myself. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope everybody's doing well and safe. I hope you're all in good spirits. I hope you've all woken up with a spring in your step. Apologies for any technical difficulties you might be experiencing. No clue why that's the case. The internet in my region is horrible, but yeah, hopefully you can hear me somewhat crisp and calm. It is what it is, people. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. Large up the Twitch gang. I appreciate all the support you lot give me and all the support you lot provide to the channel and whatnot. Please make sure you're also supporting the thing on YouTube as well, people, because after this, we head over to there. Well, in fact, that's a lie, because we're going to, we bring our YouTube cousins in and we'll be streaming across both platforms. Obviously, there's Nations League. I'll probably do a watch along on Saturday. I'm not really feeling this England-Germany thing. I can't lie to you lot, people. I'm not really feeling it. I'm not really feeling none of this, really. Like, obviously, man can do the watch-alongs. The algorithm needs to keep ticking, but my heart's not in it, people. I'm not lying to you. Big up Towns, England gonna get pams. Probably. Probably. It's Germany. And even though Germany's been rubbed for a couple of years, it's Germany. How fitting would it be that Jamal Musiala, who's German and English, and they were talking about playing him in England's under-21s. He's like, no, Germany saying we'll bust you in the first team. How it would be poetic justice somewhat if he scored. Pardon me. Gonna be hearing not against this right back. Mount. Brazy, man, brazy. I mean, Southgate in England, I don't know how we got to the semi-finals and the finals of the last two competitions we played in, but it's absolutely terrible. DG, we need to scrap the Nations League. I do think on one hand it's provided a bit of spice, a bit of razzle dazzle to boring fixtures, mundane fixtures at international level. But at the same time, I'll go against that. Please make sure you hit the like button on my YouTube vid, by the way, people. I go against that. And again, there's only so much time you can polish a turd. It's like, again, football is welfare. And I know in today's day and age, arguably, they've never been more prepared to play many games. But at some point, you have to prepare people, man. Again, mentally, the first thing is mental burnout. A footballer, the expectations they place on themselves, the high pressure environments, all these things on the best of days is brazy. So imagine that's magnified when you're, let's say, the top percentage of these elite footballers. I'm talking about in the Prem, the Bukayo Saka, shameless, Kevin De Bruyne, all these sort of players that are playing for their countries and household names and things like that. Again, if you're Liverpool, for example, you basically, your season just finished and now you're going to do up Nations League. The Premier League starts earlier. Now, obviously, your team might give you a 1, 2, 3 weeks off, but more time, these footballers know if they just go into holiday mode, they're going to come back overweight or underweight or not in the best conditioning. So more time, you always used to see Alexis Sanchez run up and down in the Chilean mountains and that, running on the motorway, and that. They're going to be doing all of that. Then the season starts again. Then they're going to have to go and do that again. They're doing Nations League off the back of a top season. They're going to be playing until November. November, obviously, there's a short break. And I swear down, the Premier League starts in the 26th on Boxing Day. I know a lot of players that did participate at the World Cup will probably get a rest. But realistically, a lot of them are just going to, probably be pressured by clubs to return, because I'm not saying Pep won't give Kevin De Bruyne a break. But if you're challenging for the Prem and Kevin's gone off to the World Cup and then think, surely you want these players back sooner rather than later, sort of thing. You want them back immediately as soon as possible. So it probably does, man. Player welfare, these footballers are guinea pigs for the UEFA, for the Premier League, for all the, the TV rights people, even brands that aren't necessarily associated with football. And what I mean by that is we hardly don't clock it. But when we're watching football, whoever's on the billboards, because it's not for, the game isn't for us, man. There's, Champions League final, Lord knows how many fans of Real Madrid and Liverpool are actually there or could actually get inside. And any other cup competition, again, football's gone. That's why for me, if anyone deserves these monies, it's agents and the players, innit? Because without the players, there's nothing. But it probably does need to get scrapped. As I said, it's just polishing watching turds, really and truly. Don't get twisted. Did like to see Ronaldo back the other day, and it was a good scene seeing his mum. It sounds so fucked, but seeing his mum cry, proud moment for her. Obviously, Messi badding up Estonia. I know this ain't Nations League, but you get the point. England versus Germany tonight. Any predictions? You know what? Bukayo Saka go 2-0 England. England. I might have to go. You know what? It's time to go get a pint, mate. You know what I mean? It's an excuse to get down the pub. Really, I can't lie to you. Look, Werner hat trick. Got to grind through them England games. They're just so boring, man. They're just boring as hell. There's no motivation, but it's just dead. Like sometimes, swear we've done a couple of them. I'm sat here and I'm thinking in my head, raw, I'm actually good at this content thing because I'm making this sound so interesting. This is flipping shit, lad. Meaty. It's absolutely meaty, but it is what it is. And then they're just gonna bring a new, I don't know what, but a new thing is gonna come out. You know, give it 10, 20 years, you know, maybe not for me and you lot, but people of generations even younger, the Nations League will start having some clout. So it's brazy. It's absolutely brazy. So we'll have to see how that one develops, man. Keep your opinions on whatnot coming. Werner hat trick, boy. There's no Mingsy, man. I'll do it. I fell asleep watching England second half. Didn't miss anything. I said, bro, I can't lie. I was jumping up and down to Saka, and I heard England lost in it. I ain't even seen the highlights. We can slide watch it. I heard Reece James come on and conceded a penalty or something like that. Rubbed, and even the Hungary thing, it peed me off because, you know, I personally think we already know minorities are taken for dickheads in it because obviously, the actual doing the knee thing is dead in it. Like it's just feel good, do nothing. This is why when Zaha says he's not doing it, it's calm. You know, again, it's just a knee. There's no other talking points behind it. There's no actual plan behind it. But at the same time, you have to look at people that actually boo the knee or are so against it, especially if it doesn't necessarily affect them. They're hiding something. But I must admit, I don't understand. Hungary have a track record with this racism thing in football. Obviously, you know, I'm reading it here. Over 30,000 fans attended Budapest's Puskás area, despite UEFA ordering Hungary to play 3 games behind closed doors. Any coincidence that the knee was now booed? These are people that are in, you know, within that sort of sector of England versus Hungary. People don't want to change. You know, there's flipping black. I can see in the graphic, there's flipping black player playing for Hungary. They don't want to change. Racism is ingrained. It's as simple as that. So yeah, man, it's just dead. We're bottom of the group. We lost to Hungary and we've got Italy next on Saturday. It's a mad thing. But again, who cares? The one thing I would say for some of these English players, use it to get in Southgate's thinking, not just Gareth Southgate, but half of these managers, they probably know the bulk of the players that they're calling up. Obviously, if Rashford and Jadon Sancho, for example, their form is a madness. Like, for example, that can change thoughts and they can get in the side. And likewise, I don't know if Tammy Abraham's form is on the floor, it might cost him a place. But you'd imagine the vast majority of these managers now they know who they're bringing in it. Like, what is it? A 22, 23, 24, 25 man squad. You'd imagine, you know, the 20. There might be 5 others, you know, maybe there's a random youngster that comes on the scene and does well. Obviously, Smith Rowe got in the England squad, then he lost his place. It depends where that's concerned. It is what it is. Of course, German feds are going to move aggressive, bro, you know. But at the same time, I feel sorry for English fans that behave themselves. But let's be real. English society has an issue with smashing shit up over here and moving mad, and has a history, whether it's in the Champions League, Europa League, friendlies, or in England level, you know, go into foreign countries and moving mad. So I can't be surprised when they whatever over there. I can't lie, we're moving brazy because you've seen the scenes. Man want to go smash up things, carry on a certain sort of way when they're lit, you know, and it's not right. So and again, now people are gonna get given the aggressive thing, and it's a brazy one. England are so boring to watch. I can't cap. How does Southgate have all this talent and put people to sleep? I don't want to play good football. You're forgetting. It's a bit like Arteta, you know. Southgate was basic, so he's gonna do basic things. It's one of them ones. Like, if you was never a saucy driller, you can't apply sauce, you know. The Gucci Mane video comes to life really and truly. But yeah, let's start going through some of these things, people. Let's start with this. I don't know what this is, but England boss welcomes Germany's decision to take the knee. Gareth Southgate, well, I sounded like I'm from somewhere else, Plymouth or something. Gareth Southgate has welcomed Germany's decision to take the knee before the two teams meet in the Nations League in Munich on Tuesday. I'm not going to read all of that, but apparently England players were jeered for taking the knee against Hungary, despite most of the crowd being in Budapest being children. So what does that teach you? Adults teach children ignorant ways, and then you've got the small minority there that are being ignorant. So again, you're moving the goalposts really and truly. It don't make sense, you know. It really don't make sense. To be honest with you, I don't want to read none of this. But he did speak about England, well, black players specifically, and taking penalties. You know what time it is? Saka scores that penalty. He's one of our own. We missed. He's, you know, of Nigerian descent. It's just like Anthony Joshua. Oh, Team GB, this and that. The minute he does something, oh, Anthony Joshua. What did Southgate specifically say on this, though? It wouldn't be right to not pick players you think are the best to take them because of what the possible consequences of them missing would be. To be fair, they're just, part of my language, they're just going to be other, even if they score, they're just going to be other niggas anyway. So really, there should be that sort of headspace. If I miss, so what, you know? We've got 55 years of talking about penalties, and Southgate knows about everything as well, missing them and everything else. So now we've got another layer that's going to make it extremely difficult for us to win anything. I'm trying to balance whether the question is about the racism itself, which is apparent and unacceptable, and what you're identifying. Then there's another layer of complexity in making that decision. Of course, boy, I don't know. You're going to have to take that one there, man. A man said, DG, good goal against Belgium the other day. Can you do the celebration again, please? Get out of here with that, man. But I did see, that's one thing I did watch, actually. Belgium got sourced, absolutely sourced by Holland quickly. Should we get into some of these transfers things, people? There's bare things here. Bare things we've got to go through. James Milner signed a new one-year deal. Obviously, I'll be surprised if you don't become a manager, really. 36 years of age, showing no signs of slowing down. He had external offers from one Premier League club and two from overseas. Why would you want to leave Liverpool, really and truly? He's reduced his wages as well, people, and it will now take him to 8 seasons at Anfield. What a signing he's been, really. You know, people like Milner's been a good player, but he's a victim of his versatility, because I remember he left City to play midfield, and he's played substantially in midfield for Liverpool, but he's also played right back, left back, and, you know, earlier on, you know, more at City, he could play out wide and stuff. He's been a very good serviceman, and he's been out on here since like 16 or something, really. You know, you've seen him at Villa, Liverpool, Leeds, etc., etc. So yeah, you're looking at 20 years deep in this thing. I wouldn't call him a wonder kid, but this is what I mean by sometimes you get your assess. No disrespect to him, because he's won everything at club level. You get the Rooneys and the Cesc Fabregas, and then you get some people like Milner who come through at 16. They're quality players, but they're not gonna be them dons there. But yeah, man, good player Milner is. Just take him Arsenal really for a year. You know, again, Mane, Salah. It's easy to get assists when you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold and obviously. Come and be part of a real challenge for Fernandinho. What he's saying as well, quite desperate. Should we see what Arsenal's transfer news is saying here, people? Let's see exactly what this is. This must be Tuesday. Is that the date today? All right. We know Lacazette's busting out. Safe Lacazette. You know, 6 goals in 36 games. Meaty. Come on now. Good player, but meaty. Eddie Nketiah looks like he's staying at the club, but until he signs that deal, the fat lady hasn't quite sung yet. You know. William Saliba did say he wanted to prove himself. That's cool. Hopefully you sign a new deal. We have been linked. We'll focus a bit more on Arsenal at 11:30, but Gab Jesus has been linked with us. You know, every minute we're talking about Gab Jesus. Raheem Sterling's been linked with us. Not a fan of signing Lynette. Osimhen's a myth. Shamaka, the CEO of Sassuolo, has spoken. I personally get the vibe that he just wants to sign for one of them Italian teams, but Arsenal's name is being dragged through the newspapers. And for what it's worth, you know, he's a decent player. 6'4", chases lost causes, plays with heart. Obviously, 16 goals in 38. Don't know if he'll adapt to the Premier League and all that jazz, but I do like what I see. Juventus want to swap Arthur Melo for Gabriel Martinelli. Good luck with that, mate. Talisio, myth. Richarlison, I mean, if the Gab Jesus thing don't bang, that's something you've got to look at. Fabian Ruiz, we need to do that. I don't think we're signing a right back, so that's probably why Spence is going to anywhere else. DeMarco has gone away. The Core of Lens seems to be going to Palace. Marquinhos, I'm sure you're basically an Arsenal player. We heard Arteta wanted to play Cody Gakpo left back, but it hasn't banged. Carla, I'm taking Zinchenko. You know, Zinchenko and Telemans in midfield. I don't think it improves us because the bar's on the floor, but I don't think it's like, wow, we're back sort of thing. I think if you could have Zinchenko, Telemans, Thomas Partey, Odegaard learning to play as a six as well as that, and obviously Xhaka and El Nene in the squad, I could maneuver with it. It's all right. But I would prefer Fabian Ruiz still. Tammy Abraham, you're welcome to the Emirates, but I can't see that happening. Umtiti, Lowit, Laturo Martinez, rumours have gone. Neves rumours seem to have died down. Aaron Hickey is my choice to come to the team. Marcus Rashford, that's all a myth. We just spoke about Telemans. You know, we need to, apparently Lazio want to look at Torreira, need to get that sorted. We're going to focus about this at 11:30 with Bukayo Saka, but what do you expect? You think that he's not speaking to Grealish and all them City players, you know, that are playing in the Champions League or playing for City? I do think the bulk of Saka being linked to Cities because them and Liverpool are interested in him. They're always going to be interested in good players, but also a bit to do with his contract. Now, I've accepted Saka could leave in 18 months or whenever, you know. Right now, he's wild. He's playing for Arsenal. He's playing week in, week out. You go to City, Pep Guardiola, the things he could teach you in football is second to none. The environment, you know, the coaching stuff. Obviously, I'd say the one thing you would get that you don't get at Arsenal, scrutiny. Everywhere you turn, look at Grealish, even when you're playing well. Scored more, or they ask you why you dried up. So maybe it's worth staying there while you're in your early 20s and you can do no wrong. But if Saka leaves, it's all right. It is what it is, man. You know what? At this point, it is what it is what my football club's doing. There's no point getting upset about it. Just make sure you get decent fee. Torreira needs to go to Lazio. I mean, Nuno Tavares clearly needs to go out on loan. Not ready, probably not good enough. Eddie Nketiah, we've offered him a contract. Leno, you know, the Benfica ones have died. Pepe needs to get on the phone to his agent and deal with that. So that's that. Liverpool transfer rumours. Mane said, I respect Liverpool. I'd rather play for Marseille than Bayern. Right, you're capping, man. What? Apparently, Bayern Munich have opened, and I've seen an opening bid of 21 million plus 4 in add-ons rejected by Liverpool, with the German club confident they can sign Mane for less than 50 million euros, which equates to 42.5 this summer. Liverpool is a club I respect a lot. The fans adopted me since day one. Regarding the future, we'll see. You know I'm not a fan of these teams. When asked about a move to Bayern, Real Madrid or Barca, my club is Marseille. I'd rather say Marseille. I mean, I'm sure Marseille would take you to have lost that. Again, Milner has signed a new deal. And we actually saw that Rafinha, apparently there's conflicting reports, people, because some people say Rafinha's rejected Liverpool. Some people say he's parked that offer off to see what Barcelona are saying, people. So we have to see. Calvin Phillips, I don't really think that takes them up a level, if I'm honest with you. So, yeah, we'll have to see. But, yeah, this seems like nonsense. What are you lot saying as well? He's a Marseille fan. I'm sure financially, if they could make it happen, it'd be a thing. Who would have thought we'd be looking at Milner's career as a multiple Prem winner and Champions League winner? Fair play to the man. Melo with Martinelli, they're jokers, mate. Jokers. Lewandowski does seem to be going Barcelona. We're going to get into that. Jesus is going to get snatched by other European giants. I mean, if Jesus gets snatched from Arsenal again, you need several plans. If that doesn't work, get a next one. As I said, cool, that's cool. Just make sure there's no excuses. I don't want to hear come the end of the window, we tried, we did this, we did that. You know, there's no brownie points for trying. I know in society it's become weird, like, you know, sports day nowadays, you get an award for finishing first or eighth. If you've not come first, second and third, it's dead. And even second and third, we're all taught that's the second and third loser. So yeah, man, it's a results driven business. And I do feel at Arsenal there's too much of this we tried thing. You know, we can't keep trying. Things need to be done, really. Again, I don't want to talk less on these ignorant people. Anyone that's you know, that's how can I even make it make sense? That's peddling racism and ignorance. Eat a dick, really. Like, suck your mum in it, really. You know, there's no time for it, you know. But yeah, unfortunately, Carlos Tevez has retired. I say retired because it's quite unfortunate. You know, his dad died. You know, fought so with his family. And it was it's quite heartbreaking. He's lost his number one fan and all these sort of things, man. It's crazy. Playing the last year was very difficult, but I was able to see my old man. I stopped playing because I lost my number one fan. I've retired. It's confirmed. They offered me many things, including from the United States, but that's it. I've given everything. Playing the last year was very difficult, but I was able to see my old man. I stopped playing because I lost my number one fan. You know, what can you say, people? Like, you all saw that yourself, innit? It's upsetting, man. But DG, there's no options for attackers. It's so media. There is options. I'm sorry, what? To us, we're honest football fans, you know. No one was screaming about Shamaka a year ago. He went Juventus, but no one was gassing up Vlahovic. No one was. There's bare guys, you know. Tammy Abraham, we're chatting about him, but people are more converted, you know. Next year, there's going to be some dons that we're not talking about now that are there now. Darwin Núñez, he was robbed at Almeria. Benfica come on the scene. I can't bowl. You man need to scout something. You need to bring something to us common football fans with limited knowledge. And, you know, if we watch whatever leagues and do what research we see strikers worldwide, not just for top clubs, but clubs trying to stay in the league, etc. But that's dead. That's irrelevant. That's why they're in them positions and we're not. Make it happen. Because you've known for time Arsenal have needed a striker. I kept saying the year of Aubameyang signing that initial contract before what we saw happen, that's when you should have known. Every striker. What's more of it? What is better? An educated gamble trying to find a striker or not signing no one? Like, what are we saying now? Like, what are we saying? So we're not going to sign no one then? And do what we're doing, because now you ain't even got Lacazette who scores, you know, Queen's Jubilee probably comes around more time than Lacazette scores. And if they were prepared to put the P's down on Vlahovic, where there is that, you know, well, you don't take the risk, no risk, no reward. You know, you got to scout well. Then Arsenal are not going to sign a striker and they're going to say the same things. One love to Eddie Nketiah, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Martin Odegaard. You know, collectively, I do think they could all chip in with goals, but they're not going to score enough. You know, Pepe's money was a risk. You know, exactly. What's more of a risk, paying that or what? Paying what they might want for Darwin Núñez or Laturo or Tammy or whatever. If it doesn't work, by what are we going to do then? Like, we're just going to sit here and say nothing. Scout people, find something. You can't find a striker, find a goal scoring winger on the Mo Salah thing or something. It's a results driven business because some people are going to find them, you know. Tottenham defender unhurt after police officer intervenes during attempted robbery. Thoughts are with Emerson Rowe. What the hell's happened here? He was in his native Brazil when he was targeted by a man with a gun who demanded his belongings. Spurs defender says an Angel police officer risked his own life to save his when he exchanged fire with an armed robber. Emerson escaped unhurt from the incident. Crazy. Fucking hell. He was with friends and family in Sao Paulo when people tried to rob him. Fucking hell, man. Not safe anywhere, innit? Apparently, Paul Pogba is mulling over offers from Juventus, Real Madrid, and PSG after he's obviously confirmed his Manchester United exit. And that confirms, you know, the end of the series of unlocking Paul Pogba over. So, yeah, man, we'll see what Paul Pogba's doing. At 29, he's got a lot to think about, man. The World Cup winner, really and truly. You know, who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, he'll join United for a third time. And Stormzy will come out in a walking stick and do the thing again. You know, serious. I mean, that's the only thing he done, social media friendly. But at least he left with some trophies, though. Kane, you might as well leave Spurs. It was an easy one. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. Where's Cavani's deal up? To be fair, Anthony Martial needs to leave. You know, man, that R9 talking about him didn't score a league goal. Bro, I didn't know Cavani. I thought Cavani had another year left on his deal. Matic has gone to Roma. Mata, I don't know what I'm going for him. League run. Cavani, really and truly. The clubs are open for offers for Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire retaining his place in the starting 11, let alone the arms man is in jeopardy. I think they'll give Rashford a chance. I think Bruno will get a chance. I think, well, they're going to have to persist with Maguire in it because he's going to be there in it. What can he do, really? I mean, well, you know, not everyone's going to buy everyone. You know, not everyone can buy all the strikers. And if they go after all of them, find another one. You know, if you're scared of competition in life, then why are we in this industry? You know, everyone's going to improve. Everyone's going to look for players, you know, so it's dead. You know, Liverpool aren't going to buy 20 strikers. They're not going to. Chelsea are not going to buy 20 strikers. United are not going to buy 20 strikers. You know, the three teams you said there, they're probably all going to sign one elite caliber striker. And maybe if there's one for the squad, find a striker. You know, arguably in today's day and age where, don't get twisted, the goal away with being a little system done. If, you know, find one. You don't score, you know, we're not keeping enough clean sheets. That needs to be addressed. We don't score enough goals to go with other things. So I don't know about you. I don't know where you're going with that, but any of that, oh, there's competition heavy. There's no excuses. Results come the end of August. Listen, I'm more than happy to sit here and talk about whoever Arsenal's linked with, etc., etc. You know, come the end of August, the beginning of September, you need to have a number 9 there. The number 9 shirt cannot be vacant. If it is vacant, leave it. Call it a day, man. I don't know who Marital is, man. I'm not even calling him Anthony Martial, man. So, yeah, away from that, from one striker to another. Chelsea striker Lukaku wants Inter Milan return, but the Italian club cannot afford permanent deal. Crazy. Apparently, there's rumours he's doing all he can. Where is it? Apparently, Lukaku has been sending public and private messages to Inter Milan since Christmas. He has been calling former teammates, the coach, directors, and the president. He'll do everything he can to leave Chelsea. I mean, he won the World Club Championship, but bloody hell, how can it just collapse like that? Chelsea are open to a salary sharing loan deal. I mean, there's not, Lukaku is on some big boy wages into a sly road. They're not going to do that. It's similar to Arsenal with Pepe in that, bro, we're only going to get you off if we give favorable terms. We pay some of your wages. It's a loan with an option to buy and so on and so forth. But for what it is here, Chelsea are open to salary share. However, lots of work to be done. Chelsea want a big loan fee and Lukaku to take a significant wage cut. They won't proceed on current terms. I mean, I would neither, bro. Cut your terms or do a 60-40, really. Chelsea also ideally want to get a replacement lined up. They won't let Lukaku leave out of sentiment and may delay a sale to see if a better financial offer still comes. Chelsea are right to do that. Lots of negotiation still needed before the picture becomes clearer, but he won't be given to Inter as a bargain, and they cannot afford him at market value. That makes the financial terms of any deal both staggered. But is firmly pushing for a 3-year Barcelona. Have to offload first. Crazy. So we'll have to see what's going on there, really and truly. I mean, probably did overpay. So Di Maria allegedly is open to the idea of joining Barcelona. Wonder what that would mean for Rafinha. And again, we just heard Barcelona have to clear players away. No other offers were even considered by me other than that of Barcelona, says Lewandowski. He's talking smoky. I can't lie, people. I only want to leave Bayern, says Lewandowski. Loyalty and respect are more important than work. The best way is to find a solution together. Something is guiding me. I want to leave Bayern for more emotions in my life. Bloody hell, he said it there. He's on, he's gone on the offensive, innit? Bloody hell, like he's firmly gone on the offensive, mate. What else have we got to look at? Let's spin the block here for these transfer rumors. Mohamed Salah has told close friends that he is willing to commit his future to Liverpool, but performed a U-turn after Barca promised him a move to the Camp Nou next summer. Real Madrid could look to hijack Arsenal's bid to sign Gabriel Jesus from Man City this summer. Atletico are also interested. We spoke about that yesterday. We're going to speak about Bukayo Saka at 11:30, people. Tottenham have no plans to sign Gabriel for this year's World Cup. There's rumours he could go to Cardiff, really. Bell strikes me as someone that will calmly just say, let me train with you lot. Let me play the occasional friendly. Let me even play. But again, you'd be somewhat off it match fitness-wise. Mane has already asked Liverpool teammate if he can move into his house in Munich if he joins the Bundesliga champions this summer. Barcelona are open to negotiating with Manchester United over the transfer of Netherlands international midfielder Frankie de Jong, but the Spanish club have yet to receive a formal offer from United. I mean, bloody hell, Ten Hag's probably got to deal with who needs to leave before he can talk about transfers. Louis van Gaal says that Steven Bergwijn, needs to leave Tottenham and join Ajax as soon as possible. Tottenham won a fee of 25.6 million quid for me, people. So we'll see what's going on there. I mean, we always see Chelsea and De Ligt in it. Apparently, Chelsea are interested in signing De Ligt, but Thomas Tuchel's main defensive target is still Jules Koundé of Sevilla. Di Maria has emerged as a low-cost option for Barcelona, with the Argentina winger leaving Paris Saint-Germain when his contract expires in the summer. Barca are also keen on Rafinha, but have been put off by Leeds' valuation of 60 million euros, 51.3 for the Brazilian winger. I mean, that would be calm. Newcastle are not planning to sign Dean Henderson this summer, despite being constantly linked. I mean, he's got to go play some football somewhere, surely, or it's long for him, really. Lewandowski clearly wants to go Arsenal. He's always talking about Arsenal and Henry, so why not? it's becoming a player's game, innit? Lover talking like that would have been demonized a few years ago. Player power is getting ever stronger and stronger as it should be. Lovers literally suffering from emotional damage. They had big up Matisse, his glasses all going foggy, you know, creaming over Lukaku signing and whatnot. It was crazy. We said this was going to happen. Like I told you, lot, they're going to rub him out 6 months before even, you know, 6 months into his tenure at Chelsea, because the logic made sense. They were creating, they needed a goal scorer, but Lukaku is not the guy, the multifunctional don, really and truly, that was required, people. I mean, apparently AC Milan, Inter Milan, and Arsenal all pushing, or better yet, pursuing 16 goals last term. I don't really buy it, in my opinion, but it is what it is, people. And then there's some other things. Kevin Botman's been linked with Newcastle, allegedly, and says AC Milan are still working to complete his deal. I mean, he's been saying that from January. It's a bit boring hearing that. If we circle this, what's been said here, people, in terms of transfer? Everton, Leeds, and Bournemouth fighting to sign Ben Brereton Diaz. I remember when he tore us apart for Nottingham Forest. You know, ever since he started playing for Chile and putting the Diaz thing on his name, he's been getting drippers. So, yeah, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, typical Frankie Lampard signing, really. You know, well, it won't be a shame, but Mane at Bayern Munich, that's quite a signing, really. West Ham and Arsenal are set to battle it out for Zinchenko. Zinchenko is welcome for that versatility to sign for our club. Chelsea have one less competitor in the race for Ousmane Dembele. Apparently, PSG have pulled out of that race. Liverpool have given up hope of signing Barcelona sensation Gavi. Fair enough. Matic is set to join Roma, so that probably means Xhaka to Roma links are dead now. That's not happening. So, yeah, man. Gattuso to Valencia. Didn't you get in trouble for some racist thing? I don't know, but yeah. And Conker has spoken about the interest in him. Liverpool are interested in Darwin Núñez, but will not pay over the odds. I mean, everybody in their land's interested in him right now, isn't it? Really. So let's cut that. Racist abuse of England stars has added a layer of complexity. Yeah, we've already seen that. Aaron Hickey discusses Arsenal and Newcastle interest. Come off this, man. What has he said? I'm doing. Things have gone well at Bologna. I think I've had a good season there. Since going to Italy, I feel like I've improved different parts of my game. It's a top experience for me to go to a different country, a different culture, and a different way of playing. They spend a lot of time in training, basically every day, looking at tactically where you should be, body shape, that sort of thing, which is good. The manager and the coaching staff have really helped me with that. Talking about it, walking through it in training, even watching videos on where to be. And that's what it should be, really and truly. So, yeah, that's that. What else have we got? That's that. We're moving through this. I mean, I don't know why Newcastle's one is up there. Southgate says Germany's still the benchmark as England aim to win major tournament. I mean, I hear that. 50 million for Ake, though, folks. That's a mad thing. That is a mad thing. Shout out to Kevin Betsy as well, the former Arsenal under-23 coach who has been officially announced as Crawley Town's new first team manager now. I mean, they tried to get Emma Hayes, who I think should coach, but just bear with the point I'm making. He's a woman. Black guy and Kevin Betsy. I'm not sure. I mean, this is a good way of fixing PR, isn't it, people? Where there's clearly in football underlying racist culture, and specifically at Crawley Town in all fragments of the club. So this is literally PR to me, but it is what it is. Yeah, man. Lukaku wants to return to Inter Milan if the club can agree a deal with Chelsea. Apparently, Inter cannot afford Lukaku on a permanent deal, and the final. Lukaku's lawyer will meet Inter on Tuesday today to inquire about the feasibility of a potential move back to Serie A. He moved for 97.5 last summer. Oh, Lukaku's 29. Fuck, you know. Bloody hell. Where's the time gone, Lukaku? I mean, when you just moved to Chelsea. Crazy, but yeah, it is what it is. With that, don't know why that tab's there. I love the summer. It's transfer news settings, people. As I said, Man City ramp up interest in Saka. Roma have set their asking price for Zenolio. I mean, he scored in the Conference League final. 56 million, for a player who's 22 and he has all, you know, he's a quality player, but he's out of contract in 2024. Unless he's got a Dembuki 1-year extension clauses, that is a myth, really and truly. That's a big, big, big myth. It's a big myth. So yeah, we'll have to see how that one's developing. AC Milan are still working on the deal to sign Renato Sanchez. So yeah, PSG are interested in Rennes midfielder Meja. He looks quite decent, but I didn't think he'd be that. Pochettino has said, I'm fired every week. He has told PSG board they should back him in the same way that Man City do with Pep Guardiola. I mean, I don't know. You need to earn that rep, man. West Ham have joined the race for Broja, and obviously where Broja is concerned, Lukaku's form or Lukaku's future affects him. If I'm Broja, I'm literally going to preseason, trying to impress Tuchel, seeing exactly how, like, honest conversation, Thomas Tuchel, because Chelsea are trying to fight for Champions Leagues and Prems. Where do you see me in that? Am I in the squad? Am I about? You know, and Conor Gallagher the same. Then make a decision. Personally, I think both of them will, well, more so Conor Gallagher, they'll, obviously the World Cup mixes it up, but the first 6 months of the season, they'll stay. Maybe in January, things will be addressed, but football's like a drug. You can't go from starting week in, week out to not. And obviously, Broja was linked with Arsenal quite heavily. And then second half of the season, he stunk up the place. You do that at Chelsea, your time's done, innit? Chelsea might just say, you know what? It is, he's still here. Maybe we can get a 50 million for Broja or something if West Ham are that serious. I don't know. We'll have to see. Raw. Leeds and Fulham are looking at Phil Jones. Raw. Ibrahimovic could get a new deal at AC Milan. Crazy. Rafinha to choose Barcelona over Liverpool, people. Inter will have new direct contacts with the Barla's agents this week. Pardon me. Mo Salah has told friends he has decided against renewing his contract at Anfield. Salah instead hopes to play out one final season at Liverpool and then join Barcelona. They are pledged to take him on a free transfer next season. Juventus consider keen swap to keep Morata in the Turin from one shit striker to another. So yeah, it's just one big shit show, isn't it? Really, that's just sounding mediocre as hell. Please make sure you've hit the like button on this one there, people. We're going to be live in a few moments still. Which one? If you're talking about Zinchenko, I like him. Yeah, why not? These clubs waste so much. Well, because Premier League clubs can throw money at things. It's not just a Chelsea thing. We've bought Pepe. United have bought bare shit dons, and it just hasn't worked out for them, you know, really and truly. Big money, 80 million on Maguire, 50 million on Saka. You know, we spent 52 million on Lacazette. You know, Spurs spent big money on Dembele, you know. You're allowed to do it. This is the Premier League. Certain man spent 50 million on Sigurdsson. This is the Premier League. This is why the Premier League clubs get zanged, because people know you got money. How many times have we seen someone linked with some extortionate price, especially the Italian clubs, and then they'll go Juventus or something on the cheap? And that's because of the riches of the Premier League. I'm not saying players don't coach. I'm not saying managers, don't coach players and improve players. But money is just, this didn't work. Let's throw more money at it. Other clubs might have to say, we can't spend this. Let's work with this, or let's get a tune out of this. Again, 50 million on Ben White. Second season in the Premier League. Last season that's gone. So one season in the Prem, 50 million. English tax, Premier League zang. It's all these sort of things, people. So, yeah. Hey, I shouldn't even be answering your questions, lazy, because I just see you followed and then unfollowed. You're doing some BS. What do you think is the toughest formation to execute? 4-3-3 needs everyone to be at a good level. Every formation. I don't think there's one that's easier or harder. If your players haven't got an attacking mentality or ability, then you're going to struggle to adapt to an attacking way of playing. If your defenders don't like defending or have an inability to focus and have cheap mistakes and lapses in concentration, you're going to struggle to deploy a formation which primarily focuses on defending and stuff. So I'd say there's no easy one. I can't tell you 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. It all depends what players you have and what you can facilitate with them and how you get that across. I hope the Hickey deal materializes as well. But all the old dons they've done a madness last season. Giroud, Ibra, Joaquin, you know, a couple of other names, Ronaldo, Benzema, Modric, technically. You know, a couple of other pensioners were doing the bits and pieces. Man said Bale can get an apprenticeship under Rory, man. That's a good one still. Chelsea seems so dysfunctional. I love this issue. But Arsenal should sign Weghorst. Allow me, man. Arsenal need to pay up the P's, exactly. There's thousands of clubs in Europe alone. All these teams have at least one striker. There's man out there. Trust, exactly. Pogba is the kind of footballer we're seeing less of these days. I miss the Jogo Bonito days, man. I wouldn't describe Pogba as Jogo Bonito, but technically brilliant footballer. I'll give him that. Wouldn't quite say Jogo Bonito, though. But I hear you, though. They're underappreciated. The thing is, Pogba can do everything, but I don't think he's ever... I mean, Jose Mourinho had some quite interesting comments on him. I do think Pogba's mentality is a lot better than people give him credit for, but I think he's someone that needs to be motivated consistently. And I just feel he's one of these players that he's had the raw capacity to do a lot. Like he's never... It's a bit like Diaby. Like Pogba is not good defensively. He can do a job, but he's not good defensively because of his physique. They're always talking about being a 6 and whatnot. He can play as an 8. I wouldn't say an organic 10, but he can have a free role in midfield. He can play in a pivot as he's done at France. Might not have worked for Man United and whatnot. For me, I would just make sure I got a 3-man midfield, put Pogba on the left. The other 2 are more switched on defensively. Give Pogba 1-2 things that I need him to do defensively. And then I just want you to break the lines with your passing, to carry the ball, etc. Pogba's one of them. I think he'll do a lot better at Juventus or PSG or Real Madrid, or like he does at France. You're around motivated dons. You're always motivated. When things are dysfunctional at United and you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. And let's be honest, it kind of went sour towards the end. What the man think is going to end up being the case? Do you rate Nunes? Yeah. I think he's a bit raw and untidy across aspects, but I like the South American bastardry he comes with in the shithousery. I like the runs he makes off the ball as well. So, yeah, man. Still raw in that, but yeah. That's not Jogo Bonito, bro. Like Pogba, Jogo Bonito. Techers and that. We desperately needed a Ben White type. We had to do what we had to do. I like Ben White, but if we were screaming center, don't get it twisted, playing out from the back, all of that, I can see why he's bought, but 50 million on Ben White. There's other options out there, and I can't say, that we needed to do that. Yeah, that's what I said. He's roaring some. To be fair, France have got packed against Switzerland with him. One thing that didn't help Paul Pogba is the kryptonite that is Granit Xhaka. Real midfield bullies. De Gea is probably somewhere scared now. No, I'm playing, man. Yeah, Nunes is untidy as hell, bro. Untidy, very raw, but score goals, cuz. I see him pull out to the left-hand shoulder. I see him drop deep and offer an avenue. Yeah, man, I think there's a lot to improve. And anyone that was seeing him in Almeria, it was great. He's got a lot to work on. But I'm seeing what we've got in our team. Like, we need that. We need something. I just want something. And he's hungry for goals, man. I'm tired of these new footballers where don't get it twisted. The game's multifunctional, but you can just get away with, as long as you're, playing with your back to goal, you're dropping deep, playing 1-2 pot, you can get away with it, That's like Gabriel Jesus. Whether he comes to Arsenal or not, he's a system striker. Do I think Gabriel Jesus has the capacity to score more goals, has the ability to score more goals, has the potential to score more goals? Of course. But he's a system striker. The Brazil gaffer, the Pep gaffer, they talk about how he's a good pressing forward and things like that. Clearly, he's someone that's good in the squad. Is he someone to rely on? I don't know. And again, it goes back to what I've been saying in the sense of it would fill me with confidence because it'd be a lot better. But Saka has had 1 season with double figures. I don't call him a goal scorer. You need to learn how to score goals. Smith Rowe the same. Martinelli got 6, but you need to, try and get 10 and 10. Odegaard got 7 and 4. I think he could have done a lot more, but I think that's better than what I actually thought before I checked. You could do your thing. Eddie Nketiah, if you're second choice striker, I'm asking for 10 league goals. Obviously, that's not, I would like more, but I don't think that's too unrealistic. I think those are fair targets. But again, none of these guys have the pedigree of scoring goals. You don't score goals, you don't win the game. It should be. Of course, you can refine talent, but everything that you haven't really got at that age, at 22, it's not really going to change. You can improve your first touch slightly, but if you ain't got the technical level up until that point, it's done. So he's right in that. But if you're scoring goals, I don't think his touch is that bad. It's not a Lukaku thing, but it's not pretty. He's not the most glamorous. If Darwin goes United, he will flop. I don't know, man. He's been linked with Spurs. I'm not too sure where that one's coming from because, they've got Harry Kane and that. But it's absolutely brazy, really. We'll have to see. Apparently, Leno's a target for her for Berlin. Fair enough. It's decent. Sorry, people. Just seeing a couple, 1-2 bits and pieces we can talk about in just a second still. Don't forget, people, we go live at 11:30 as well. Man United don't nurture talent. Gab has this Nunes. I don't listen. All these strikers that are not linked with Arsenal, they all have a risk. You know, Shamaka, 16 league goals. You know, Osimhen doesn't really bag against the bigger teams. Lautaro Martinez, ain't this the first time you've got 20? Tammy, can you do it again and again in the Prem? And they're still all the guys Arsenal are linked with, or just any team. But you know, United be linked with strikers. I see a couple shout Rush. United fans are locked in. There's a strike. There's obviously out of all the names you're linked with, there's, you know, someone might say I prefer Osimhen, I prefer Darwin, I prefer Lautaro. You know, Isaac was one that was thrown in, but none of them are 100% confirmed, really. Yeah, I mean, I would take Memphis to pay, but nah, man. It's not like I kind of want us to go back to basics. We need a striker, sign a striker. Like, I know Gab position is a bit of an exception, but we need to be doing these sort of things. I think there's too much of being able to do everything, but doing nothing. It's crazy. Somebody said, I honestly can't see that Zinchenko in midfield is an upgrade on Xhaka. Xhaka is hugely underrated because of a few mistakes. Yeah, people don't know ball, man. I do think Xhaka is slept on within Arsenal fans, but again, at the same time, like he's, you know, the pros are outweighed by the pros are outweighed by the cons, so there's no point being in this team. You know, the bars on the if we don't revamp midfield, let alone up front, forget it. That's right. For me, if I don't see a better start, if I don't see Thomas Partey fit, obviously Partey could get injured, but if I don't see Thomas Partey with a different partner, if I don't see a striker, then for me, I know what time it is. Like, it is what it is. Like, it's more of the same. I'd hope to be wrong, but you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again and again, and then what? Being surprised that it hasn't changed. Salah at Barcelona, bang. Much respect, DG. What a beautiful morning. Hope you in the chat have high spirits today. Come on, Gina. Hope you're doing well and safe, and everyone else is locked in. Uruguay and Lacazette. That's crazy, man. I mean, he's roaring it. And to be honest, at 22, what was Kane, Vardy, or Aubameyang doing, really? What was Salah doing, really? Like, what were these men doing at them ages there? I'm not saying he's going to or not going to join them things, but what were these guys were not necessarily the finished articles per se. So, again, I hear you. But this is where I always say, you know, especially where Arsenal's concerned, we're not going to sign we do, you know, we sign Willian and Cedric and these guys that are finished, but we're not going to sign too many players that are at their peak powers right now. It's an improvement thing. This is what I always say, talk to me about the weaknesses. If we sign Telemans, don't waffle to me about his ball playing ability. I know, we all know on the ball, Telemans is lit. Off the ball, there's a lot of issues there, you know. If you sign Aaron Hickey, don't tell me about his strengths, tell me about his weaknesses. You know, you sign Ben White, don't tell me about his strengths, tell me about his weaknesses. You know, Saliba coming back more confident, like him. Just from watching him on loan, he's got a lot of weaknesses. Are you going to iron them out? Because if we don't iron out the thing defensively, we're going to still keep shipping goals, cheap goals, you know, not improving our game management. There are many micro reasons as to why Arsenal had, you know, a disappointing end to the season for all the optimism. You know, and we need to score goals. We don't keep clean sheets. We don't score goals. We don't come from behind too many times. We've got 13 losses. Couple that with silly decisions off the field. Maybe, again, we've dealt a shorthand, but if we started the season in August a bit better, if we did or didn't do certain things in January, you know, if the players and the club and the manager all kept their bottle in the last sort of period of the season, maybe these things are different. But if buts and whatnot are different things, man. You know? If the YouTube and Twitch haters had any self-confidence, you know, they wouldn't be trolling me. They'd be doing what they're doing with their lives. But this is life, bro. This is life, man. I don't trust no man to press, but Telemans, obviously. But they're the same Don. Like, they're the same. Telemans physically struggles a bit as well. I hope to be wrong. In the same way, Ben White is not into anything to shout about, in my opinion. But he's better than I thought. Ramsdale's got a lot of things. But in terms of ball playing, I didn't know you was that good with your feet. So, Arteta, as long as you know how you're improving, man, the talent ID, etc., Bob's your uncle, innit? The eye test has to come first, bro. You're right on that. What's the time? I'm conscious of time, though, people. Don't forget, we're live at 11:30 with our YouTube cousin. So on that, I'm going to lock this off quickly. Yeah, we're back in 7 minutes, innit? Obviously, Twitch gang, it's been amazing being here with you, talking about transfers and things. 10 a.m. tomorrow, same settings, 11:30 now. Obviously, Saturday, Nations League, we'll do a watch long. I'm not feeling this one today, people. I'll be real. I want to go gym. If I get back in time, I might play Football Manager with you lot again. But if not, you know where the content is, people, man. So, yeah, man. I wouldn't mind the depth. I mean, I wouldn't really, you know, if Xhaka wants to leave, cool. But I wouldn't. Xhaka isn't one I would force out the door. Is he someone that we need to move away from? Of course, but he's not someone I'd force out the door. You know, I don't think he's the first midfielder that needs to leave. You know, I'd rather have Torreira in the squad, even though they're two different sorts of midfielders. But Torreira's not going to be here for whatever reason, innit? So it is what it is. But yeah, Twitch gang, hold off any questions and for 7 minutes, and I'll see you lot again in a sec, man.
There's always just that active red flag, defending. I think it's like